favor of that motion was 103. I think it was 73% were in favor of the motion. So, looking at the total of the undergraduate faculty, still that's one motion. That there be no reprisal for all of the entire community, Gallaudet community, students, staff, faculty, the Clare Center staff, faculty, vote of no confidence in Dr. King Gordon, passed overwhelmingly 80. Voted in favor, 69. Many had strong relationship with Dr. Gordon. They were afraid to vote, but 60 voted not in favor. Voted no confidence in the board.
New at 11, student protesters at Gallaudet University vow to take their fight to Capitol Hill tomorrow. They say they'll march from the Washington Monument to the Capitol building. Protesters demand the removal of incoming President Jane Fernandez. One demonstrator says the march will show the school's administration their demands are serious.
The administration is viewing this as a chess game. We don't need that. We need to move towards solution. We need to move on with our lives.
The march will begin at noon tomorrow. Protesters hope to have one student representative from each state meet with their own senator.
The prosecution continues its case tomorrow in canceled homecoming. Festivities were scheduled for this weekend. University President I. King Jordan said the events were canceled because the school is not operating under normal conditions. Some protesters believe having the protest during homecoming season will bring more attention to their cause and put more pressure on the administration.
I think that everybody can come here and see firsthand what's going on, and also that we'll have more numbers and more support.
Protesters have a march planned for Thursday. They say they will march from the Washington Monument to Capitol Hill at noon. They reportedly hope to have a student representative from each state meet with his or her senator.
Mulligan Lagoutin from Alexandria hand-delivered a letter to Congressman Tom Davis's office.
I want maybe them to force Gallaudet to have her resign, you know, to make better changes to the system. Just right now the system is messed up. There's a lot of faculties that aren't happy either. You know, it has to change for the better.
Jane Fernandez, meantime, again said she refuses to step down and insists she can work with the protesters to address their concerns.
If I resign, all of the issues that have been brought forth remain as they are. I'm not the problem, but I'm here to help resolve those issues and problems.
She would not say much about a report that some of the Board of Trustee members are beginning to question their decision to put her in the president's office.
I hope that the board will remain firm with their decision and continue to support me as the next president.
This evening, the protest continues here at the front gate of Gallaudet University. Some students are continuing their hunger strike here behind me. Jane Fernandez, meantime, told us today that last night was one of the first nights she's been home in several days. She says she's been sleeping here on the campus. Her family very upset about what has been going on. Reporting from Gallaudet University in Northeast, Leslie Cook, News Channel 8.
Student protesters at Gallaudet University take their fight to Capitol Hill. Demonstrators carried letters there to lawmakers, hoping to put pressure on the school's Board of Trustees. The protesters want incoming President Jane Fernandez to resign or to be removed. This campus crisis is causing some controversy with other students tonight who say that they support the protest, but they also want to go back to class.
The bottom line here is we want our education, and we want this university to continue to provide that education. Candidates applied for the
President-elect Jane Fernandez, you see her there, she's repeatedly said that she will not step down. She says that she hopes to reach a compromise with the students instead.
A cold front is approaching our area right now. That'll mean rain.
Protesters at Gallaudet University plan another march to the U.S. Capitol Saturday. Friday night, professors led another march to the school president's home. Unlike other occasions this week, I. King Jordan did not speak to the demonstrators, who carried signs reading 82%. That's the percentage of faculty who voted against naming Jane Fernandez as the next school president. The constant pressure from faculty, along with weeks of protests from students, appears to be having an impact on the Board of Trustees, who unanimously selected Fernandez in the spring.
Washington Post reported this morning that a majority of the board wants Dr. Fernandez to resign. An equal number, or 6 or 7 people, support her, and maybe 3 or 4 people that are undecided. The board is clearly split and needs to come and take up the crisis.
Friday's demonstrations came as many alumni returned for homecoming, while administrators said events would be canceled because of security reasons related to the protests. News Channel 8 has learned that the football game will take place on Saturday, but off campus. It will be held at the Maryland School for the Deaf in Frederick at 7 o'clock.
Live from the WJLA Broadcast Center, you're watching ABC 7 News at 11. On your side.
Our top story tonight, alumni descend on Gallaudet University for homecoming and discover a divided campus. But the crisis over the university's incoming president could soon be coming to an end. Hello, everyone. I'm Leon Harris.
And I'm Maureen Bunyan. Tonight, we've learned the Board of Trustees will meet again over Jane Fernandez's fate.
Richard Reeve. Oh, go ahead. You take that one.
Is live in Northeast Washington. He's got the latest. Richard?
Well, Maureen, that's right. The board is to meet sometime next week. We don't know exactly when, to discuss Jane Fernandez's future. Meantime, a lot of the protesters are still here. We're told there are at least 5 people staging a hunger strike as well. This is a campus divided. Some like Jane Fernandez, others, as you see from the sign, do not. After 2 weeks of protests, several days of campus shutdowns, and 133 arrests.
Stay the course. Do not give up. Our future is at stake.
Gallaudet remains a university divided.
We see friends that are now on opposing sides. I don't know how we're going to resolve this.
At the center of this dispute, incoming Gallaudet president Jane Fernandez.
I think it's really the end of an era, and it's time for a change.
On Friday night, faculty members, following a no-confidence vote of Fernandez, marched to University President I. King Jordan's house. But no one answered the door.
The board is clearly split and needs to come and take up the crisis.
All this as homecoming weekend begins and concerned parents and alumni are arriving.
And if the Board of Trustees won't listen, then I think that the government will have to intervene.
Still, Fernandez has her supporters.
I think she can lead this university with support or without support.
But for many, this is far from over.
And this is not going to be done, not going to be over with until they reopen the search process.
So again, back here live, you see some of the protesters out here camping. 82%, you may have seen that in the story there, that represents 82% of the faculty not agreeing with Fernandez at this point. It is homecoming weekend. There will be some events off campus, including a football game and several dances. We're also told there is to be a march on the U.S. Capitol tomorrow. Live from Northeast Washington, Richard Reeve, ABC 7 News.
Thanks, Rich. New tonight.
I'm Elliot Francis. Well, first up tonight, wasn't a very enjoyable homecoming at Gallaudet University. This weekend, all official homecoming activities have been postponed, all because of the continuing protests at the Northeast campus. Meanwhile, hundreds of students, faculty, and alumni rallied on Capitol Hill this afternoon to pressure incoming university president Jane Fernandez to resign. Tonight, students and alumni run a makeshift homecoming dance at the ESPN zone. That's where Angela Stark is standing by with the latest on all this. Angela?
Well, Elliot, Gallaudet University students and alumni have not only been busy with protests, but also with a homecoming, a rally, games, and also finally here a dance at the ESPN zone where they are expecting a huge crowd. In a defiant move against Gallaudet University President I. King Jordan, students, alumni, and some faculty members of the university celebrated homecoming this weekend amidst ongoing protest on campus. The Gallaudet Bison faced Walter Reed on the football field in Frederick after the original game was canceled.
I was not really surprised that I. King Jordan canceled the homecoming, but I was surprised that the game went on. I guess the players feel that they just want to go ahead with the game, and we're here to support them.
I feel that it's kind of sad that they're having the game here instead of at Gallaudet University, which is still home base.
On Tuesday, President Jordan declared homecoming events canceled, citing the campus unrest over incoming President Jane Fernandez. Fernandez has been opposed by students who say she is out of touch with problems in the deaf community. Earlier today, hundreds of protesters took their movement to Capitol Hill.
We have our own homecoming, and it is here going on today.
The march was significant, participants say, because it shows others that the deaf community opposed to Fernandez is not backing down.
It's a happy day for deaf people. It shows their power.
Power that protesters hope will resolve the 3-week standoff with the administration. Back here in Northwest at ESPN Zone, the dance here will go on until about 3 a.m. About 300 people were at the game this evening and several hundred at that protest and rally earlier this afternoon on Capitol Hill. So there were some activities that alumni and students could participate in despite the controversy on campus. In Northwest, Angela Stark, News Channel 8.
All right, Angela, thank you. Elsewhere. Thank you. Several students are still on a hunger strike at Gallaudet University protesting the school's incoming president. Tonight, DC rescue crews arrived to check in on those students. Emergency workers examined 8 students who are participating in the hunger strike. 2 of them haven't eaten in 9 days. School officials have also been keeping a daily watch on those students. No one, by the way, was taken to the hospital. George Mason University's expansion plans
A major escalation in protests at Gallaudet University on Wednesday. The administration sent in a front-end loader to clear student protesters from one of the campus gates. 4 student protesters say they were hurt, but not seriously. Junior Brian Morrison said his toe was cut during the incident.
I didn't do anything. I was just standing there and holding the gate. This is wrong.
Overnight, about 50 protesters seized the first floor of the main administration building, refusing to let anyone in, but they relented after campus security surrounded the building. Student leaders met with current President King Jordan and incoming President Jane Fernandez about the incident Wednesday afternoon.
Washington, D.C. is America's leading university for the deaf. And for weeks now, students there have been protesting the school's new president. Like the students, Jane Fernandez is deaf, but unlike them, she didn't learn American Sign Language till she was in her 20s. That's become a point of contention for some students who also charge the university is insensitive about diversity, including race. The school defends Fernandez, saying she's a strong leader. And that brings us to tonight's free speech, a look inside the protest and a world foreign to most of us. Latoya Plummer is a Gallaudet student. You'll be hearing the voice of a sign language interpreter.
My mother, who can hear, inspired me to challenge the world. When I was a little girl, my mom told me that I had 3 strikes against me. I'm black, I'm deaf, and I'm a female. Therefore, I had 2 choices. I could allow those strikes to throw me out of the game of life, or I could change the rules. I decided to change the rules. I'm very competitive. I love sports. I used to play basketball for Gallaudet University. Maybe you've heard about my university and that we're protesting, and maybe you don't understand why that's happening. Some people have said that we're protesting because the new president is not deaf enough. That's not true. The real issue is that our deaf leadership is deaf to our concerns. There are diverse groups within the campus community that are not being heard. That's important and worth fighting for. You may think that being a black deaf person fills my life with obstacles and frustration and misery. It's really like this. My life is richer. I know it may be hard for you who can hear to understand that. I have many goals that I want to achieve in life. First, I want to become a lawyer, have children, and pass my values on to them. And one day, that'll happen. But first of all, I must lay the groundwork for the future.
Latoya Plummer, thank you. Up next, Assignment America, a share...
Next weekend, the university's Board of Trustees are supposed to be getting together to meet on Sunday to discuss the campus crisis. Students say President-elect Jane Fernandez does not have the leadership skills needed for the position. Despite the dispute, Fernandez says that she will not step down. Tonight, a substitute teacher in the district is out of the hospital after being attacked by 3 female students. Police say
Coming up, Gallaudet students celebrate after the board votes to fire incoming President Jane Fernandez. Also, 2 men posing as police officers but acting like criminals. Find out what you need to know to avoid becoming a victim. And a tragic turn at the Marine Corps Marathon as a runner collapses halfway through the race.
Live from the WJLA Broadcast Center, this is ABC 7 News at 11 on your side.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Elliot Francis. Well, after weeks of protest, the standoff is finally over at Gallaudet. Tonight, the Board of Trustees fired incoming President Jane Fernandez. Protesters, of course, have been demonstrating against Fernandez since she was appointed. Tonight, the board said that firing was a necessity. Julie Parker is live at Gallaudet tonight with the latest on this. Julie?
Elliot, as one student told me this evening, this was a worldwide protest, and tonight we are celebrating worldwide. Cheering, fist pumps, hugs of relief. Protesters frantically shared the email they'd waited weeks for, and then prominently displayed it on a wall. Early Sunday evening, Gallaudet's Board of Trustees voted to throw out Jane Fernandez's appointment as the university's next president.
And this nightmare is now over.
I knew we would win, but the question was when. Today, I'm absolutely elated it's today.
A statement from Fernandez read in part, "I love Gallaudet University, and I believe I could have made a significant contribution to its future." Students stormed the football field to celebrate and torched a large white sheet bearing Fernandez's face.
We own Gallaudet tonight. Who do you support? Gallaudet!
King Jordan has lost his queen.
Later, several members of the Board of Trustees addressed a still cheering crowd outside Fowler Hall. Students say they're now hoping for a sense of normalcy, but say their work is not yet done.
We are going to keep an eagle eye to make sure that the Board of Trustees, the new presidential search process, is one that's fair and equitable.
Extra police officers stood by to ensure the campus remained calm. Students say they now want to focus on reopening the search process. They're also concerned about reprisals. The Board of Trustees said in a statement today, students who violated the law and the school board of conduct will be held accountable. Live at Gallaudet, Julie Parker, ABC 7 News.
All right, Julie, thank you. Here are some more details from Gallaudet tonight. University President King Jordan, a supporter of Jane Fernandez, released a statement reacting to the board's decision. In it, he said, quote, "I am personally saddened for Gallaudet and for Dr. Jane K. Fernandez that she will not have the opportunity to show Gallaudet and the world what a great president she could have been." Elsewhere tonight, D.C. police are issuing a warning. Police impersonators are on the
Coming up, the incoming president is out. Students are celebrating at Gallaudet tonight. We'll have the complete story.
Also, a couple abducted in the middle of the night, then forced to use their ATM cards. Police think this man may be connected to the crime. We'll have the details. Also, candidates for U.S. Senate in Maryland square off amid new poll numbers as Election Day nears.
Plus, repeat winners in today's Marine Corps Marathon. We'll have the highlights. And should we expect cooler temperatures in the week ahead? Tony Pan has your forecast tonight.
Those stories and more ahead on 9 News Now.
Live from WUSA 9, this is 9 News Now at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jennifer Ryan.
And I'm Bruce Johnson. Thanks for joining us. A victory tonight. It's over. Gallaudet University students staged a month-long protest to stop their new president from taking office.
The school's Board of Trustees voted to revoke the appointment of incoming President Jane Fernandez. That sparked an evening celebration on campus by those protesters.
That's right. Dave Statter's at Gallaudet right now with the very latest. Dave?
Definitely a celebration atmosphere, which had been a very tense atmosphere here for the last couple of weeks as protesters manned the barricades here at Gallaudet University. The word came earlier that Jane Fernandez, her appointment in January to take over as president, was being revoked, and a 9 News camera was rolling when that happened.
We've long tried to work on many issues to improve the university for the best and the community. Oh, we have an announcement.
The word about Jane Fernandez came in, and the cheers began. As 9 News Now interviewed student protest leader LaToya Plummer, the voice belongs to an interpreter.
PR just sent out a notice. She resigned.
The statement from the Board of Trustees was flashed on the wall. The board said the announcement that they have voted to terminate Dr. Fernandez's appointment as president-designate comes with much regret and pain. Those emotions weren't evident from those who demanded Jane Fernandez's ouster.
We continue to persevere because we knew we were right, and look, they now know it.
The celebration spread across campus.
We need to make sure that the next president is right. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh. This is just so needed right now, and I'm really, really thrilled to see that after all of our hard work and so many months of time gone by, I'm really thrilled to see this outcome. I feel like we have truly achieved something today.
Jane Fernandez said in a statement she loves Gallaudet University and believed she could have made a significant contribution to its future. In the past, Fernandez has said that some people didn't consider her deaf enough because she had relied on lip reading rather than sign language through much of her education.
We never cared about whether the person was deaf enough. We cared about whether they were good enough.
Most people were opposed to her leadership, her form of interaction with students.
But the victory apparently did little to lessen the anti-Fernandez feeling among the protesters who celebrated by burning her in effigy. And once that burning of effigy was finished on the football field, people gathered in smaller groups to celebrate this evening. There's a lot to be done here. The board has to figure out who is going to be the president, and a lot of people here say they want input, and a lot of healing needs to go on here at Gallaudet University. Back to your broadcast house.
And what about Fernandez, Dave? What happens with her? Is she compensated in any way for being dismissed at this time?
There's no word on that. All she says is she loves the university. She wants it to heal. She says she had a lot to offer, but it's time to move forward, apparently. Same with I. King Jordan, the current president, said the same thing. It's time to move forward. It's time to heal.
We can assume classes will be conducted on schedule tomorrow, Dave? Campus open?
We assume that. That appears to be the case. There's still the issue of reprisals being taken against any of the protesters. The board has said that they expect, peaceful protest is fine, but anybody who is involved in breaking the law or violating the code of conduct here at Gallaudet University may expect that they will have to face some reprisals.
And we know that that's not sitting well with the students, so they may protest that issue next. So Absolutely. It's not over quite yet. Dave Statter, thank you so much.
D.C. police need your help tonight in catching 2 robbers.
They pull over people saying that they're police.
Leading news station. This is News 4 at 11.
A shakeup at Gallaudet University as hundreds of students celebrating tonight. Evening, everyone. I'm James Adams. After weeks of rallies, hunger strikes, and arrests, the protest over Gallaudet's incoming president is almost over. Today, the university's Board of Trustees voted to terminate the appointment of Jane Fernandez. Darcy Spencer has reaction.
In a statement, the Board of Trustees says this decision was made with pain and with regret, but ultimately they decided it was in the best interest of the campus to fire Jane Fernandez. There are cheers on the campus of Gallaudet University after the school's governing board reversed its earlier decision, voting in secret to oust incoming president Jane Fernandez.
Thrilled, beyond belief. Thrilled that the nightmare is over.
Students have waged a weeks-long protest of Fernandez's selection as the new president of the school, which serves the deaf community. At the peak of the controversy, more than 100 students were hauled to jail after blocking the entrances to the campus.
My reaction is one of really happiness and really exciting. It's about time that the board listened to us.
Fernandez had insisted she would not step down. In a statement, she says, "I love Gallaudet University, and I believe I could have made a significant contribution to its future. I hope that the Gallaudet community can heal the wounds that have been created." The protesters are hopeful the school can attract a leader agreeable to students, faculty, staff, and alumni.
And the presidential search process has to be the most thorough. It must be the most transparent. We can't afford another mistake.
In a statement, the board says it has certainly been a difficult and trying time for our Gallaudet community. Now is the time for healing. Members of the Board of Trustees were greeted as heroes.
that the university can get back on track and begin the healing process.
So the whole process starts anew, finding a new president for Gallaudet University. Students say they hope to find a strong leader and one that will unite the campus. In Northeast Washington, Darcy Spencer, News 4.
Students are continuing to block the main entrance to the campus tonight. They want assurances that they won't be retaliated against before they will end their protest. District police want to know if the same people are behind 3 recent armed kidnappings and robberies. The latest incident